Alright, here we are. So, I promised Star Wars May the 4th thing, which may have been a mistake on my part, but I hope not. We should see what we're going to do. So, I asked on Facebook whether people would rather I did a droid, a ship, or an environment, and I got environment, which is awesome, because I like environments. So let's, for lack of anything else now, start off with some kind of a rebel base. That seems like a cool thing to play with. And should probably think about, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but what exactly makes a rebel base in Star Wars? Like, what's the design? Whoa, what happened? I pressed the wrong button somehow. Something weird happened. Go back to me. I don't know what that was. Okay. Press some kind of strange button. That little weird power button in the bottom. I pressed it before. Anyway, what makes a rebel base in Star Wars? What's base like about that? Now, let's see if can I paint on the surface now? Can I lock to that? No, I have to paint on that surface. That's how this one works. It's not like a lock to surface. Never mind. Turn it off. I'm just gonna. Let's build a floor. And actually, rather than sweep it out, well, let's do it the right way. With the move tool, set inner radius to full. Make it huge. Not that huge. Shrink. Okay, to about cover that. And give us some kind of a base. Land. Okay, so we have a weird ground plane. Maybe make it a bit bigger. I'm not sure what our scale is going to be yet. But anyway, what makes a rebel base? What specific characteristics make something feel like a Star Wars rebel base as opposed to something else? But think about it all morning. I'm not sure I have a great answer. I have some friends I could ask because they actually design rebel bases, but I don't. What I'm going to say is, to me, the first thing about Star Wars is it's kind of World War II-like. So we want to kind of hit that sort of a vibe. The other thing, specifically like Pacific Theater World War II for the rebel bases, from a logic perspective, just looking at the movie again, they are hidden because it's pretty important to them that they not get discovered by the Empire. So whatever it is going to need to be kind of hidden and that's way too big. Okay, I'm gonna make that much bigger. Shrink that down some more. I'm standing in the middle of the ground, but that's cool. Okay. Let's see. Oh, before I do that though. Yeah, so we want to integrate with whatever terrain we're using. I'm going to keep it low for right now because I'm just it needs to be integrated with the terrain. It needs to feel military, certainly, but it also has to feel a little bit, I won't say low tech, but it was made on a budget. You know, it was made by a group of people who are potentially on the run, who don't have a tremendous amount of resources to spend making something pretty. So it's going to be functional. Functional, I think, is maybe the next most important thing. Is it needs to feel like it has a purpose. It does that purpose hopefully well, but it doesn't go in for the Death Star like cool lights and that kind of thing. I'm sure there's a bunch more important things, but those are, I think, what I'm going to call, say, the single most important part of the idea for this base is that it has to feel like they built it on a budget, they built it with a purpose, and they built it so that it could stay hidden from the prying eyes of the Empire. What do you guys think? Does that make sense to you? I guess you can't really tell me, but if you're watching, you can say in the comments, and I can see if you think you agree with me for later. So I'm just sketching out some kind of a structure first. I'm thinking more like, actually, I guess resistance base, but we'll call it a rebel base from what you call it, Force Awakens. I kind of want it to be more built into like a hill, maybe. Then I want it to be in a temple, like on was it Yavin 4? I'm such a not Star Wars nerd. I apologize. So I'm going to build it into a temple. You'll also note I didn't turn on symmetry. I'm not trying to make this feel like a constructed architectural piece that would worry about things like, are the walls on this side the same as the walls on that side? This is going to be, we built walls and we did our best and we're in a hurry and we're getting bombed, so like, piss off. Nobody likes getting bombed. Well, except maybe on 420. So yeah, real simple structure. It's going to be like that. So we're kind of on this flat, I'm thinking kind of a hilly, grassy hill sort of thing. And then from there, we got some good, I'm thinking that this right here is going to be, well, the like the the hangar door. That's the word. In case you guys have never done this before, apparently as soon as you start talking, you lose the ability to form English sentences. But so that's our hangar door. And then up here, I want some kind of like observation deck, kind of, not deck, but like window. So so that's where our base part is going to be, and then out here are sort of out structures, and then we'll probably doink around a little bit with some more stuff after that. All right, so I'm probably just putzing too much, but there's our rough structure, and then probably put some like grassy roof and stuff on top of it at the end, but I think we'll start with this. Okay, so new layer, past our sketch, and increase the res twice. And just for my understanding, rather, I'm going to change our color to that. Let's go with that. And yeah, okay, doesn't really matter. I just want a color that's different. Yes. Okay. Again, once it goes into key shot, it's not going to matter. So, okay, we have our structure. Let's start plating some walls. I could use just a regular old square, which is what I was using to make the ground. But let's see if we can find something that's a little cooler. I like what Finian was saying the other day in his YouTube video, and I think I talked about it a little bit, but the real power of this tool is in these things like this, these stamps. And if I can use those stamps and get some like added texture to this, that's a cool win. I don't know that I can in all cases, but I think it'd be cool if we could get some kind of something. Okay, even just that little line there I kind of dig on. Like, it's just sort of indicative. And I'm going to leave my structure from my sketch in place and probably build onto it. So it will end up being part of the walls. And that, to me, is kind of cool. It's going to make it a little more humanized, probably, and a little less perfect. But that's kind of neat. And again, we can always take this into Photoshop afterward and make everything perfect. But one of the cool things about doing stuff like this is keeping it from being, whoa, perfect. Okay, you're freaking out. Go back, right. There we go. Yeah, we don't want it perfect all the time, because perfect is kind of boring. One of the neat things about Star Wars is that it's not perfect most of the time. I think that's where one of the places that the prequels really failed was that they made things very clean. And sometimes that's appropriate, I suppose, but what I loved about Star Wars was how grungy and lived in and shitty it all felt. And that you get by being less perfect. Okay, so I'm just putting walls in. This is not the most exciting, I apologize. Although it is kind of neat to be right inside the thing. Like, it feels psychologically, incidentally, it feels a little weird to be like, I literally feel like my head is getting cut off by this building right now, and it's kind of weird. I'm not sure how I feel about it. No, it's cool. I didn't put a, what you call it? We want it to go like that. Okay, yeah. I didn't put a support strip to that wall there. No. Too close. To back up a little bit. Too close. The res on these is pretty damn good, actually, but it's still a little, like, you get too close, it gets a little weird. It feels strange. Maybe my helmet's not on exactly perfect either. Okay, so just making walls. Right. Let's see. Cool. Yeah, so making walls. My Facebook just dinged, but I don't think it's super important for right now. Hopefully not. I'm so used to being connected all the time. It's actually a little weird to be like, I'm in VR, and I have no idea what's going on in my world. No. Okay. So we're getting some neat kind of shapes there. And we're full size. I'm going to go like that. Okay. Now I'm going to go the other way. Taking 2 steps. Turn the thing around. There we go. That's how I want to be. Okay, so we're starting to have walls on that part of the structure. Okay. Then let's shrink ourselves down. Wall. This is also very weird for me. I'm really one of those like, but make it perfect kind of guys. And this forces me to not be perfect. And it's freeing and it's scary at the same time. Not gonna lie about that. It is cool. Oh, okay, let's turn it that way. So going sideways. It's cool. But it also feels a little weird. Okay, I'm gonna just let's do it this way. I'm gonna be a bit better. It's getting a little too much for me. I gotta gotta clean it up a little bit. So shrink it down. Okay. Probably don't need to, but I'm gonna be neurotic for a sec. Okay. Now, so we got to do that back roof thing and the front wall. I have no plans to go to the inside of this building whatsoever. So knowing that, I'm just going to use the cube on it this time. And there we go. Shrink down a little bit more. Don't go to the front. Maybe a little bit more. Actually, let's go, actually, since, so down the center. I think it's going to be easier to control. Too high. Okay, sure. Must fight perfection. Okay. Alright. And then let's down. Reset it. Set it. Okay. I guess now it's time for the roof. Let's see, what do I want to do for the roof? I kind of want to, well, I think ultimately I want it to be kind of cool, you know, or again, just, what you call it, grass. But let's just, here we go. And we got a roof there, and I'll fix it in a bit. Straighten it up. Down further. That's better. Okay, there we go, there we go, there we go. Shrink. Okay. Well, there's a building, right? No, this one still needs a roof. Okay. This initial structure, got a big window. We can start cleaning it up a little bit. Turn off that. And let's go back to square. Go into erase. Shrink it down. Okay. Okay. Right. Whew. It's warm in here. And we'll get that. And kind of big. Just to like clean it up, because I don't need any of this taking up my poly count. I'm just gonna kill it. I don't know how much it matters, but we'll get rid of the basement. If I don't need it. Save my polys for something that I actually kind of care about. Although, like I said yesterday, I was up to like 12 million polys and it was kicking butt, so I'm not too worried about it. But all right, so now we need to start sort of increasing our level of detail and giving us some more interest. Let's go back to our ground layer, actually, and I'm gonna. Woo! Too much. No, I'm gonna not do that. I'm gonna go to the move tool again. Come way down. Can I pick the tip? No, it's only round. Oh. I'm gonna go, and I think we're gonna drop the inner radius way down, so it's a lot softer. Yeah. Shrink, 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 shrink. I just want to get, like, I've made it so that it's a little high there. There's a way to just do this one layer. Let's see. Active layer only. Yes. Thank you. Okay, there we go. That's better. Now. So we're literally just pushing and pulling things around, which is kind of cool in my opinion, to make it work to where we want it to be. So you kind of get down here like you're walking through it. You're like, what would I want this to look like as a player or from a movie? Yeah, that's working. I'm digging, digging, digging. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's neat. Now, all right. I want to do... I'll bring that up and shrink down a little bit. That down. I don't know what. Bring that up. That down, that down, that down, that down, that down, that down. Too much. Okay. Yeah, still too much. But, alright, yeah. Maybe the flatten tool. Let's try it. See. The flatten tool might be just a thing here. No. I don't want to nuke it out. I just want to make that level. Well, okay. We'll try the smooth tool. No. Try the smooth tool, and we'll try it to fill. So it's only going to fill, not remove anything. Alright, well, good enough. Again, avoid perfection. Okay, so, we have our building, we have our doorway, we're going to need doors. We're going to need some way for X-Wings or whatever to land. Not a lot of them. This is a small base here. You can tell that it's not super large. I'm going to fill that into. Turn back on line constraint. Getting to really like it. I wasn't sure about it, but I think it's going to be cool. But again, it's all in what you're getting used to. So, okay. Give it some like pillory type things, which will simultaneously hide that kind of shitty sketch thing that I had before and give us a bit more structure. So let's do the same there. Not quite too much there. And I don't know what kind of structure this was. Rebels seem like they reuse structures a lot, like again Yavin or whatever. But was it a temple? Is it just something like a thing? It's kind of the cool thing about Star Wars is it doesn't really matter. It's just, as long as it kind of looks like it belongs, we're all good with that. Okay, so yeah, this is nice. I'm liking this. Just giving these makes it feel way more deliberate. Design choices need to be deliberate. Sometimes it doesn't matter what you do as long as you do it with intent. So give him that there, and I think the same on this side. And you see, like, I'm not really worried too much about making them level and even. I might bring this one up a little bit, but I'm not. It doesn't really matter. I can always fix that stuff in Photoshop. I want it to feel like there's a point. I don't know about that overhang though. Well, let's just do that. Okay. So kind of a simple structure base. It's like one of those prefab air bases that they built into the in the Pacific Islands when they were doing the island hopping in World War II. Like, it's not meant to be a permanent base by any means. It's just meant to get the job done. And we're a big fan of getting the job done. Kind of hiding the sketch, which just lets me go over it a little bit more carefully and with a higher res, but okay. The same here. And yeah. Okay, and I'll do the same there. And so this is letting me, now that I've come back around and kind of made an imperfect job with the walls and the ceiling, it's letting me kind of fix that to the sketch a little bit more. Okay. Now, in that big front, this is kind of our, as I said, like our hangar door. Cross. And I actually think I want to put the doors in, but I want them a bit inset. So we're going to have closed doors on this one, but I want them to be inset. And I don't want them to be, it's kind of cool. Let's see, can I just do this? And I'm going to set it to single now. I'm just going to stamp a door in. Back in a little ways. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. Now, maybe I'll do the same kind of thing with this window. It doesn't really matter what the plane is. I'm going to actually, though, create a new layer. Ugh, I've been doing it on that one layer. Oh, well, so much for my layers. Okay, fine. I'll make texturing interesting, but whatever. New layer. Increase the res. And make it red just so I can see. Shrink that down. There's my window now. So, got that structure, got that window, got my doors. Alright. So now, maybe I'll use the same thing. Make a new layer again. Really need to get good about remembering to use layers. Increase the resolution, and I'm going to stamp it, make it large, and I'm going to make it like there. I'm going to make a different color though. I'm going to keep pressing the wrong button. Green. Okay. And there. Now, move tool. Inner radius up. Active layer only. So I'm thinking this is an abandoned rebel base at this point, maybe, yeah. So like this stuff has kind of grown out over there since then. And that's why. But there's our runway path. That's kind of cool. Now let's go back to clay and just go to square. Shrink ourselves way down. Oh, I'm on single. Go to continuous and turn back on line constraints. Side there. There. Okay. Alrighty then. So now that's just looking really, Play-Doh-y still, which is unfortunate. We need to work on that. Now I think might be the time we start doing some stamps. Just go to single mode again, and we're going to start adding some just like bits that I think may help make it feel more like armor plating or whatever. So if we do, we'll stay on this layer because it'll be this kind of material. So, whoa, get too far out. Oh, I know why it looks bumpy. Gotta increase the res. That's crisper. Yeah, I'm not feeling it though. I think I might actually need to do some more continuous first. Continuous. So, with the line constraint on. Yeah, alright. Now if we do that across the bottom. And I want it to be lined up right. Right across the bottom. Yeah, it's off. Well, of course, the building's off, isn't it? That's why. So can we unfake the building to make so it doesn't look off? Probably. Maybe help if I did it from this way, though. Oh, I see. That's off. There we go. Oh, I know what I can do. Let's go to a new layer. Increase the res twice. And now... Okay, reset my tool application. Okay, there. Now, if I go to layer, now I can just adjust that one layer. So we can set it there. Not there. There. Now we can look. Okay, cool. Still not feeling right, though. Well, we might be ugly for a bit. I mean, worst case scenario, I'll just throw battle damage into it and make it bright, right? You know, I'll just blow some crap up and yay, I'll make it bright. And again, I could get too precious. I'm not making a video game asset here. I am making something that we can paint on top of. So maybe I just need to like chill out a little bit. Certainly, many people have said that in the past. And all right. Although if it's kind of going with that like Yavin temple thing, maybe it's a structure that actually is kind of old, and you know maybe that's why it's kind of off. All you know, ancient aliens building pyramids aside. Okay. I think what we need now maybe is some techie bits though. We need to establish scale a little better. Although you get down like this and you're like, okay, yeah, I can see feel scale, but I want some techie bits. Increase the res. Make sure I can still paint that. Cool. Let's grab just some parts. And now let's try to go single. Let's see if that'll take us where we want to be. Okay, just things that'll give us a little bit more feeling of intent. And intentional space. Like, yes, we came here and we built something. And even if I don't exactly know what it is that we built, they clearly do. Alright, and that's the important part. If as long as it feels like the reason it's there is legit. Yeah, alright. And again, forgive me, if this were sort of, quote, for real, I definitely would make a sketch and it would be, you know, kind of right, but kind of didn't even know what I was going to make until, I don't know, 10 minutes before this thing, and I was kind of looking around and trying to find something that I thought would work, and I might be suffering from that. That's kind of cool, though. I like that bigger shape. It feels like a door hinge, maybe, or something. I don't know. It's a blast door. Yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Maybe we do the same thing on this side. Shrink it down. And go into the doorway itself. There. And then same thing. There. Okay, sure. I'm eating it. So, okay, so we were talking yesterday about reads. So let's stop for a second and look at the read. Initial read, definitely a building. I don't know that's reading like a base, but definitely a building. It doesn't feel military enough for me yet, although Star Wars stuff doesn't always feel super military. So that might be okay. But let's see if we can make it feel a little bit more, again, intentional. There we go. Okay, yeah, we got that. Let's get another one. There. It instantly makes it more interesting, but it kind of changes the focus of the read. So let's leave it to that. I'm going to keep it so that the center is where I want you to look. But maybe, yeah, that's the answer, is we'll kind of half do it. Something like that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so we're still feeling that center shape is the most important one. We want to make sure that it stays the most important one. We've got our walkway leading up, so from a game perspective, if you were down at this level, or you're doing a keyframe, yeah, okay, it feels like we're looking at something important. And we knew that there once was a road to this, but it is now fallen into ruin. Here's where maybe I wish I could turn on symmetrical. And yes, no, yeah, okay, all right. So now I always loved those Hoth generators, and I happen to have this shitty hole that I want to cover up. Woo! Hoth generator. Since we're on, well, let's move and drag it. Now it totally covers it. Gets it a little more. Okay. I'm gonna erase that stuff. And we're talking about how, like, I want to save my seat. I'll go back onto continuous. Continuous. Okay, got rid of that shape. All right. Now, the other thing I associate Star Wars with, even if it's not actually true, is weirdly antenna. I think there's something about those, like, the moisture farm on Luke was at or whatever, but just I like my antenna for Star Wars. Something just makes it feel way more real at that point. So, one's too big. And all right. Okay. Now, so we'd said ancient base, fallen into ruin. It's been not used. Maybe we are in the new trilogy, and this is, instead of going to the salt flats, they came here instead. To something very bizarre looking. And okay, let's make some more so they don't just look like kind of what they are right now, which is just random shapes stuck into the ground. Let's no. Yes. So they are relay stations now, or something, I don't know. And yeah, all right. So what do we want to do to make it feel a little more, like, I don't know, old? Well, let's make a new layer. I'm going to try something. Increase the res a bunch on it. And go to custom. And I want to grab something like this. This was, I don't even know what I would call it, but oh, and I'm going to try it again now. Let's try to go with surface constraints instead of line constraint. I don't know if yes, okay, so now it's going to go on that shape. Where are we? I don't know. It's a very strange constraint. Okay, make that big. It's facing forward. I don't want you to face forward, though. Well, maybe I do. Adding some growth. Let's turn off source. I'll just do it by hand. So I can figure out how to make surface constraints work for me the way I want them to do. And you may have noticed by now with me that I tend to be like, ooh, play first, and then later. I'm on continuous. It's one off continuous. Interesting. Why is it not? Oh, I bet you. Am I outside my space? Let's see. Where's that space? Yep, that's where it ends. Right there. And that's why. Okay. I'm going to delete that layer because of that. Add a new layer. Space is huge. Increase res, increase res, increase res. Space is now right here. You see the black box? Cool. Now let's try to... Yes! Some moss and stuff that's grown. Because I'm on my own layer, I'll be able to take this and texture it differently when I get it into two-shot. Get some like bushes. So stuff's growing up all around the edges. Yeah, there you go. I'm liking this. Hope you guys see what I'm doing and enjoy it. I mean, this video is cool too, but yeah. So we got some like weird bush action going on now, and it's literally going to grow up all across that whole thing. So it's, you know, the trees taken over. I wish I'd changed it so it wasn't green, so it would look a little different than the ground, but I think I'm kind of visualizing what I want it to do when I get it. This will be like Alien Star Wars Kudzu, for anyone who ever grew up in the South. It's going to be on freaking, oh no, everything. So we got our kudzu plants growing. And it does give me a great opportunity to hide some modeling stuff that I wasn't super proud of. I mean, I wasn't proud of it. Yeah, that's cool. I'm digging. I like it. I kind of feel like it's a right vibe that I'm going for. We're down here. We're playing Battlefront or Battlefield, whatever it is. I'm not a video gamer. Oh, that's ugly though. super cool to be able to come down into it at this level and be like, well, it's reading right. It's not reading right. It's not reading right. That's not reading right yet either. But now it's starting to read right. Okay. I don't want those rough shapes, those edges. I mean, I could paint over it in Photoshop again, as I said, but better. So we are being overcome by a mossy kudzu thing. Yeah, and there's another space I see that needs some love. It's trippy to be like this close into it. Like this was real tiny a minute ago. Maybe it doesn't. I'm not sure how it reads for you guys, but for me, this is like super cool and trippy. I like it a lot. Just being like, I'm in the base. You can kind of go nuts. You gotta almost stop yourself because it's so easy just to come in and keep zooming in and looking at stuff, being like, oh, let's put some kudzu in front of the door. Hide that up there, and then maybe let's find another texture. See what else we got that we kind of use for. Is there anything else that looks kudzu-y? Lots of bones. These are those ones that I got from Scout the other day, and they're cool. They're very cool. Let's throw a couple like. Okay, it's not a penis. I have a dirty mind. Get a few vertical things like that going now. So I don't know if this is what anyone had in mind when I thought I was going to do a Star Wars thing, but it's a very me thing. Yeah, okay. I keep wanting to walk. Like, literally, I have to stop myself from walking across this field now because my apartment's not large. Like, bring it to you, Seth. Bring it to you. There we go. It's starting to, like... Ooh, yeah, maybe, like, they, like, spawn, you know, and it's starting to like, grow some fronds. And then those fronds will expose other parts, and they'll fly off. And then that's how this stuff propagates and keeps going. And at the very least, it gives me kind of more areas of detail and cool things to do. So back in, woo, down. And kind of cool. Biting it. You probably can't tell, but it's literally right in my mouth right now. Cool. Alrighty. Anything I want to do that front doorway just to like emphasize it that it's cool. Maybe I will do another layer. Oh, was I on the wrong layer? That's gonna suck. Yeah, I was. I hate you, Seth. Well. It would have been a cool idea. Now it's gonna be a pain in my ass. Still need model, but it may not look as good in Keyshot. I thought I was on that layer. Alright, well. This is live, folks. Every once in a while I do stupid things, which is to say, often. And shrink it down and just put some kind of like and single. Oh, I didn't go into press higher. There we go. Man, I'm really bummed about that. I was really looking forward to making those plants look cool. Oh well. I think you get the idea anyway. I don't know what this is going to be, but some kind of just like thing. Again, just to increase the interest. Not that much though. In that space. Cool. Yeah, well, like I said, I'm bummed, but some ringages there. Cool. And then, let's see, one of the new layer. I'm gonna just be salty for a second. Like custom. I'm on a new layer this time, you bastard. I'm just gonna throw some kind of a weird giant skull right there. Right there, maybe right there. Because Star Wars just loves it, some giant, creature stuff. And I think with that, I'm going to call this one for right now. Again, it's more of a rough block-in than a final model, and I apologize for screwing up my layering there, the plants. But I like how they look, and I think it gets the idea across. That's kind of the important thing. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching, and I will do something. Even if I just texture all as one texture just to show it, I'll bring it in and show it what it would look like lit so you can see the forms well. And I really appreciate you following along with me. I hope you have, may the 4th be with you, and I hope you have a great, American holiday of Cinco de Mayo. Remember that it is not Mexican Independence Day. It is, in fact, just how Mexico helped the United States win the Civil War. But anyway, take care, and I will talk to you later. All right, bye-bye.